that would be kind of low capital and stuff like that, and I was wondering what breed, and I'm in the Manchester, Tennessee area, which is the lower Cumberland Plateau or Highland Rim area, and what forages, or what sheep might do well in my area. And then I'll leave that with y'all and whoever wants to answer it.
All right.
Thank y'all.
Thanks for the call, Brent.
Yes, sir. Thank y'all.
There's your, that's right in your home territory where you travel. You want to take Brent and ask, and what kind of a breed, first of all, would you recommend if he wants to get started?
Well, without knowing more about Brent's specific
Right.
information, it's hard to make specific recommendations, but I'd be more than willing to talk to him offline. I'm on sheepusa.org, my contact information, but certainly glad for his interest. And there's a lot of cattle people that are in Tennessee and throughout the South that are looking at sheep for many of the reasons that Brent just said. People are coming to us and said they're looking for something with less capital, something to diversify their marketing opportunities, and something that can work with cattle to really utilize forage. Can't make any more specific recommendations, but certainly pleased at his interest.
He would, as you say, he could have cattle in the operation, and you said something earlier today, you don't even know that the sheep are there. If the right circumstances, you could put the sheep right in there and not have to buy any more ground or rent any more ground. That also adds to the bottom line.
Yeah, there is a lot of cattle producers that can add sheep to their operation with very little changes in infrastructure, and certainly it allows them to enter new markets, and they can do it in a relatively low-risk way.
And we certainly know what's going on with the dairy industry. As he mentions, getting out of the dairy business twice a day, every day, you have to be there. And there's attention to sheep, but they do take care of themselves, do they not?
We have a lot of producers with either off-the-farm jobs or very aggressive other agricultural businesses that are able to work with sheep in limited labor operations and make it work.
All right. Back to the telephones. Frank from Alabama, you're up next. Welcome to RFD TV, Frank.
Yes, I live in North Alabama, and I was wondering how many sheep can I run per acre just starting out? Sir?
Yeah, they're thinking. They're trying to get a good answer for you. Just hang on, Frank.
All right.
Any questions for Frank before he goes? To answer that.
What kind of pasture you're looking at, Frank, in North Alabama?
Probably new pasture land.
Okay. What kind of fences are you looking at, and how many acres per pasture?
Well, I don't know yet. I want to start out in it, and I want to know how many sheep I can run per acre on this property.
Well, thank you. The typical rule of thumb, first off, it varies tremendously across any area. So it's hard to make hard and fast numbers there. But a rule of thumb that I've often heard is about 6 per cow unit. So if you know what your cow unit capabilities are, roughly in that 5 to 6 range of sheep per cow is usually a pretty good place to start.
Right.
And I would add too that you have a lot of areas of the country where it's grass year round. I mean, if you have the ability to graze year round, sheep will work. Oftentimes watering livestock, we have an advantage with sheep. If it's wet enough country, you're not piping water in to make them work. And a lot of areas of the country, the sheep are there because it's either a little too steep or a little too arid to make other grazing animals work. And so that's one of the benefits to consider when you're looking at putting sheep into an operation.
Very good. And viewers, we are having some technical issues here at RFD TV, so your television is working just fine. I know that you can hear us, but sometimes the visual side of it is not always operational. We are working on that, so stay with us and be patient, and we thank you for that, for being patient with us. Let's go back to the telephones, and David has joined us from Montana. David, welcome.
Well, good evening. We watch your program all the time, and I'm glad to see the sheep institution on.
We are too.
My question was, what does American Sheep Institute do for us out here out west? We're faced with so many coyotes and wolves, and I was wondering if they were working or had anybody working with the government to help us control the predators that we're having to deal with and the losses of our guard dogs.
Okay, you broke up a little bit there. You might be on a cell phone. Did you understand what David's asking? Okay.
Yep. That actually, that's one of the top issues that we work on from the national level, and I know the Montana wool growers do as well. As year in, year out, it's livestock protection. The way to make the sheep industry work is getting live lambs to the marketplace. It's having sheep to shear, and we work on it year in, year out on maintaining tools to manage wildlife depredation issues. But it's just something that you do deal with in a lot of areas. Increasingly, wildlife are on the increase, and so people are dealing with more and more issues to it. But it also provides an opportunity that at the county and state, as well as the federal level, we have a lot of programs, and it's making the best use of them. And I know Montana is very aggressive in their livestock protection programs, and increasingly more states are doing that and doing it in a good manner.
Very good. It's a great point that we had talked about earlier, and we're not able to share the video with our